The reason your videos are not growing has nothing to do with the algorithm and has nothing to do with luck. It comes down to one simple thing. People are not clicking. And when people don't click, YouTube stops pushing your videos. It's that simple. In this video, I'm going to show you how to increase your click-through rate from under 4% to as high as 12%. Now, you might be wondering, why should you listen to me? Well, because I struggled with the exact same problem. My click-through rate was stuck below 4%, and no matter how much effort I put into my videos, they barely got any views. But once I fixed my click-through rate, everything changed. In just 6 months, I gained more than 100,000 subscribers on this channel you're watching right now. You can see the analytics on the screen. Being able to get people to click on your videos is really important. So let me tell you a story so you have a better understanding of how this works and how you can fix your thumbnails. Have you ever noticed something about cereal boxes? Why do they all have cute animals on them? Tigers, monkeys, rabbits, big eyes, big smiles, bright colors. Well, because cereal companies know something simple. Kids don't read nutrition labels. They react to visuals. And here's the crazy part, and when I realized this, it blew my mind. Look at where those cereals are placed. They're not on the top shelf. They're on the bottom shelves. Why? Because kids are not tall. So when parents walk through the store, the kids' eye level is filled with bright colors and cute animals. That's not random, that's positioning. Now imagine this. Instead of a colorful box with a cartoon tiger, it's a plain white box. Lots of text, a photo of a healthy adult smiling, detailed nutritional information. Will a 7-year-old grab that? Of course not. Not because the cereals are bad, but because it wasn't made to catch their attention. It wasn't made for the person making the choice. Now let me ask you something simple. When someone scrolls on YouTube, who are you really making the video for? Are you making it for yourself, or are you making it for the person who is scrolling? Most small creators make a big mistake. They create what I call the white cereal box. It looks clean. It explains everything. It has too much text. It makes sense to them, but nobody clicks. YouTube is like a store shelf. Your video is sitting next to many other videos, all fighting for attention at the same time. If your thumbnail is not clear in 1 second, you lose. Not because your video is bad, and not because the algorithm hates you, but because people did not feel anything when they saw it. Clicks are not logical decisions. Clicks are emotional. People don't stop and think, this looks educational and informative. They feel something first. They feel curiosity. They feel fear. They feel excitement. They feel that this video might help them or entertain them. That feeling is what creates the click. Let me give you an example from my own channel you're watching right now. Let's compare two titles. A title like How to Grow on YouTube is not wrong, but it is boring and generic. Now compare that to a title that says Why Your Videos Get No Views. The second one feels personal. It creates a small tension. It makes the viewer wonder, is this about me? Am I doing something wrong? That small emotional reaction from your viewer, it's what makes them click. Your thumbnail should not explain everything. It should create a question in the viewer's mind. So the title makes a clear promise, and the video gives the full answer. But the thumbnail's job is only to make someone curious enough to click. If your thumbnail says too much, there's no reason for the viewer to take action. There are 3 simple rules that help me increase my click-through rate from 4% to over 10%. The first rule is to focus on only one idea in your title. Not 3 ideas, not 5 ideas. Just one clear and strong idea. When you try to talk about too many things in one title, it becomes confusing and weak. For example, a title like How to Grow Fast Using AI, SEO, Editing, and Thumbnails feels overwhelming. There are too many angles. Instead, something like Why Your Videos Don't Grow is simple and focused. It's clear, it's easy to understand, and it targets one problem. The second rule is to show the result, not the process. People don't click because they're excited about work. They click because they want a reward. A title like How I've Edited This Video talks about the process. It's about you. But a title like This Edit Got 1 million views talks about the result. It shows success. It shows a transformation. And it's going to get way more clicks than the first title because viewers care about what they can gain, not about how hard you worked. As I've said, viewers need a reward from your video. The third rule is to remove unnecessary words. If you can delete a word and the sentence still makes sense, delete it. Simple titles win. Clear titles win. Confusing titles lose. High click-through rate is not about being loud or crazy. It's not about adding arrows, red circles, and too many words on your thumbnail. It's about clarity. When someone sees your thumbnail for half a second, can they understand the main idea? If the answer is no, you need to change it. When I fixed this on my channel, everything changed. My impressions stayed the same, but more people were clicking. And because more people clicked, YouTube pushed the video more. That led to more views, which led to more subscribers, and that momentum helped me gain over 100,000 subscribers in around 5 to 6 months, as you can see the analytics on the screen. So the big difference was not better editing or better camera quality. It was better packaging. That's exactly why you clicked on this video, because the title and the thumbnail did its job. So now the real question is, how do you design thumbnails and titles that create emotion instantly and make people want to click? Let me show you exactly how I do it. I create my thumbnails in two different ways. One version uses my face. The other version tells a story without any face at all. And I choose between them based on the emotion I want to trigger inside the viewer's head. Let's start with the version that includes my face. Now, this might shock you, but instead of taking random photos every time I need a thumbnail, I've built a 3D version of myself inside Higgsfield. I uploaded a clear photo of my face, trained the model, and now I can generate different facial expressions whenever I want. Shock, confusion, excitement, doubt, whatever emotion fits the idea of the video. And what's crazy is that those images look identical to me. And because of this, I'm saving a lot of time. Whenever I need a different facial expression from a different angle, I can just go to Higgsfield and generate an image of myself. It's insanely efficient. Now, once I generate the image with myself with my desired expression, I use Higgsfield again to place myself into an environment that supports the story of the thumbnail. Sometimes I generate an apartment background, sometimes I generate an analytics graph. It really depends on what works best with the current title. And I'm doing this in a couple of minutes. And I believe this is the power of AI, and this is how you're supposed to use AI. You're supposed to use AI as a tool to speed up the process, make it more efficient and cheaper. And that's exactly what I'm doing with Higgsfield. That's exactly how I'm creating my thumbnails. Now, after I have the final image ready, I take the final render into Photoshop. This is where most people stop too early. AI gives you a base. It does not give you a finished thumbnail. Inside Photoshop, I fix small imperfections. I clean up glitches. I adjust the lighting so my face pops from the background. I play a little bit with the colors to increase the contrast, and then I add text only if it strengthens the emotion, not to explain, but to amplify. So the text I add inside my thumbnail will not explain what the video is about. Instead, the text I use inside my thumbnail is written to trigger an emotion inside the viewer's mind. That's how I create thumbnails with my face. Now, let's talk about the second type, thumbnails without a face, because a lot of you watching this video might want to start a faceless channel instead. Believe it or not, sometimes a face is not needed. Sometimes objects tell a stronger story. In those cases, I first think about the core idea of the title. Depending on the core idea, I just generate some core reference images using Higgsfield. Then I take those references and regenerate them in different angles and lighting. This allows me to create objects that look unique and consistent with my style instead of generic stock photos. Then I combine everything I generate into one single image that tells an entire story visually. The goal is simple. Someone should understand the message of the thumbnail even without reading the title. So think of it like this. If the title disappeared, would the thumbnail still create curiosity? If the answer is yes, I know the thumbnail is strong. So make sure to spend enough time on your thumbnails, because at the end of the day, YouTube doesn't reward the best videos. It rewards videos that people click. Like it or not, AI is now a big part of my workflow. Before, I used to have to search for stock footage. Now I just generate whatever I need for my thumbnail. Even the thumbnail of this video you're watching right now was created with the help of Higgsfield. I pretty much generated the graph you're seeing on this thumbnail, the blue graph, using Higgsfield. And since you clicked on this video and you've watched for so long, I assume it works. So if you want to create thumbnails using Higgsfield, there's going to be a link down in the description where you can get Higgsfield yourself. But here's the mistake that still stops people from clicking on your video. Even after they understand everything I just explained, most creators make one of the two errors with their thumbnails. They either say too much or they say too little. Either one destroys your click-through rate. Let me explain what I mean. Some creators add way too much text, way too many graphics on their thumbnails, and this confuses the viewer because there's too much information in one photo. And you have to put yourself in the shoes of the viewer. The viewer is scrolling, and you have around 2 seconds to make them click. If there's too much text on your thumbnails and there's too many graphics, then the viewer has to spend 10 seconds or 15 seconds on your thumbnail to understand what it's about. And as I said, the viewer is scrolling. They're not waiting 10 seconds on your thumbnail. So you missed the chance. You missed the chance of the viewer clicking on your thumbnail. But believe it or not, some creators go in the opposite direction and make something that looks clean but empty. A face, a random background, but no real meaning. It looks fine, but it says nothing. There's no story, no tension, no emotional trigger. So the viewer scrolls past it without even thinking. Both approaches fail for the same reason. There's no tension, there's no feeling, there's no reason to click. There's too much information, or there's no information at all. Think of your title and thumbnail like two people having a conversation. If they both say the same thing, the conversation is boring. But if one person sets up the idea and the other one adds a new layer, now it becomes interesting. Imagine a vlogger's title is "I quit my job to travel full-time." If the thumbnail also says "I quit my job," that is weak. That is just repetition. But now imagine the thumbnail shows someone sitting next to a huge office, probably laying down on the floor, looking almost homeless. And the title says "I quit my job to travel full-time." Now, this title with this thumbnail makes the viewer have an emotional reaction. They want to know what's happening. Was it a bad idea to quit the job? Or was it a good idea? Why does he look homeless? The thumbnail is now triggering all these questions inside the viewer's head. And this is exactly how the title and the thumbnail is having a conversation with each other, but they're both saying different things, right? The title says something, and then the thumbnail adds another layer to what the title is saying. And this combination is what creates that emotional trigger inside the viewer's head. And by the way, this is exactly one of the things I focus on in my private community. Members inside my private community share their videos, share their titles, share their thumbnails, and I give direct feedback to them. I tell them how to improve their titles, their thumbnails, and their videos. So for just a one-time payment, you can unlock lifetime access to my community and the courses inside, and you can also chat with me. I will give you feedback on your videos, titles, and overall channel. If that sounds interesting, you can check my website down in the description. So go to my website, and from there you can join my community. Now let's get back to something important. Here's something that might surprise you. Small channels actually have an advantage. When you're small, you can experiment freely. You can test bold ideas, you can try stronger emotions, you can refine your visual style without pressure. Big creators are often trapped by audience expectations. For example, I can't make a video about how to grow on Instagram because my audience expects me to talk about YouTube, right? On the other hand, you don't have any limitation. You can experiment with anything until it works. If you want to learn more about the YouTube algorithm and how it works, you should check out this video from me over here. In this video, I show you how I went viral and how I grew this channel you're watching right now in just a few months. So if you want to learn how the algorithm works, and if you want to grow your own channel, in this video, I'm going to share quite a lot of information you might find valuable.